Wild like my daddy, but straightforward like my mama. Drank like granddad, smoke sluggies like the other. But granddad feels the guts. Hustler like my uncle JT or cousin Big B. I got big dreams like Jimmy Lee, and my aim to feel good for anything. Just keep a job like Uncle Kevin told me. Top notch player like David, and that caddy thing since the 80s. Slab, big corporate thug, and political like Jack. May he rest in peace, but I've been taught a lot. See, this hot head wasn't scared to get money nor leave the beats. See, you can't play me like I'm a pawn in the game. Chess, jokester like Big Kenny and Ski. G like Jarrell, Jeremy. The trigger happy, it's about my family. Alone like my granny, Lula. Chuckling, giggling, hunching my shoulders like my daddy's and the lead. Routed like them Tyson seeds, the spiritual like rewards. A go-getter like Arian, a religious, romantic career like no one you know ever. Oh, so like Uno, my soldiers, untold story like my bro, T-Bird. And cousin Ray Knocker get aimed like Bird. Nasty like John and Gene, I can be man, it's respectful, tattoo, a different breed. I can't wait till they get a load of me. Drake and luxury, memory and lessons from ancestral pillars, legacy family. We are unapologetic, ain't with a red mentality. We are unapologetic, ain't with a red mentality. I can't wait till they get a load of me. I can't wait till they get a load of me. I can't wait till they get a load of me. I can't wait till they get a load of me.
Hey champions, welcome to tonight's edition of the Motivation to Elevation Facebook Live podcast. It is yours truly, Arian Tyson. I am sitting in my office here in the STL, and so I just thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule on this Tuesday night to hop on, and we're going to dive right in. But before we do, I want to let you all know, for those who do not know, my brand new book will be released this month in a matter of days. And I'm doing something special for those who pre-order the book. For everyone who pre-orders my new book, I'm going to sign each and every book that is pre-ordered. And so if you have not already done so, you can pre-order my brand new book. It's entitled Love Me or Hate Me, My Journey from Motivation to Elevation. You can pre-order it at www.lovemeorhateme.org. Again, that's www.lovemeorhateme.org. And I'm going to put the link in the comments section, for those who hop on later. They can make sure that they go ahead and pre-order, so that way once it's ready to go, because it's in the final stage, we're like in the 11th hour right now. So once it's officially ready, then I have a list of those who have already pre-ordered, and I will personally sign each and every book and probably have a personalized note, because, there are some that mean more to me than others, but I appreciate everyone that has supported, and I'm thankful for those that have already pre-ordered. So again, the book is coming, and I'm excited about it. I'm so glad to be able to say I'm an author now. But again, pre-order the book if you have not already done so at www.lovemeorhateme.org. Having said all that, I want to talk to you tonight from this particular topic, because this particular topic is something that anyone can really resonate with, especially as the new year approaches. And I was thinking about this earlier today. And I just want to really, speak to you all. And if you get value from it, feel free to let me know. Feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to share this on your Facebook walls. So I want to talk from this particular topic why a new beginning does not require a new year. Think about it. Every time January 1st comes of a new year, everybody always talks about how this is going to be their year. Everyone always talks about how they're going to do new things, do things that they've never done before, or I'm going to make sure that this year is better than last year. And it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to actually live it out. Now, truth be told, I said that last year, especially after the nightmarish year that I had last year. I said it can't get much worse. So one thing about being at the bottom is that you have no other place to go but up. And so as I think back, as I reflect on what has happened this year, it's been an incredible year. And I'm excited. I'm waiting on this book to finally be here, because that will cap off what has been an incredible and unforgettable comeback year for Arian. So I want to talk to you. But one of the things that I've learned, one of the things that I've noticed is that in order for you to go to the next level, in order for you to elevate to where you're supposed to go, because again, with me, you know my hashtag, motivation and elevation. There are some things that you're going to have to let go. And I'm just going to be real with you. There are going to be some things that you're going to have to let go. There are going to be some people that you're going to have to let go in order for you to elevate. In order for you're going to have to realize that you're going to have to make some changes. And to get yourself out of the mess that you may find yourself in, you need to literally rewire your brain and replace negative, fantasy-driven mindsets with positive, productive ones. And what I'm saying is there's a difference between being busy and being productive. Many people are comfortable being busy, but they're not being productive. For example, instead, and a lot of things can change based on how we look at things, based on how we say things. For example, instead of saying, I don't have what it takes, you must start saying, I think I can figure this out. And by doing so, you'll stop saying, I'm not ready yet. And you'll start taking action, because the new mindset is something along the lines of, I am ready to learn and grow. The bottom line is, if you've caught yourself stuck with similar fantasies and negative ones and negative thought patterns like the ones that I've talked about, you need to take action as soon as possible, because the longer that you let those, we'll call them little demons, so to speak, linger around, the harder it is to get rid of them. And since the new year is just around the corner, which inspires many of us to refocus our energy and our attention on the right things, this is a perfect time right now to start letting certain things go. And I'm going to share with you some things that you're going to have to let go in order to ensure that the new year is better than what this year has been, or that in the new year you don't repeat what you did this year if you are not satisfied with what has happened to you this year. So I'm going to share with you a couple things. And if you're taking notes, make sure you grab a pen and a pad and jot these down. One of the things that you're going to have to let go of is you're going to have to let go of the fantasies that you have about all of the distractions in your life. You're going to have to let go of them. And if it entertains you now, but will hurt or bore you someday, guess what? It's a distraction. Don't settle. Don't exchange what you want most for what you kind of want at the moment. What you have to do is you have to study your habits, because we are creatures of habit. Study your habits. Figure out where your time goes and remove certain distractions, if not all of them. Because in this coming season, it's time to focus on what matters. That's the first thing that you got to do. Another thing that you have to let go of is let go of the fantasy that everyone else knows what's best for you. You got to let that go. Too many of us are listening to the noise of the world and they get lost in the crowd. Don't do this to yourself. You probably have done this in 2017. You probably did it in 2016 and didn't realize it. But don't do that to yourself. Don't read every gossip column. Don't read every Facebook post. Don't check the news 5 times a day, or hop on Facebook or Instagram 6 or 7 times a day. What I'm saying is, find the strength to fill your time with meaningful experiences. That's another thing that you're going to have to let go of in order for you to elevate to the next level in this new year. Because think about this. You're going to have to realize that the space and time that you're occupying at any given moment is life. And if you're worrying about what's going on with people that you probably have never met, don't really even care about what you're doing, then you're disempowered. You're giving your life away to marketing and media hocus pocus, which is created by big companies. And they ultimately motivate you to want to look and behave a certain way. And realize this, it's all a distraction. It's all a distraction from what is real and what is good. And what is good and what is real is you and your friends and your family and your loved ones and your highs and your hopes and your dreams. You know this already. So listen to what your heart is telling you. Another thing that you're going to have to let go of is that you're going to have to let go of the fantasy. Let go of the fantasy that your anger and frustration is someone else's fault. And you've heard me say it before. No matter what happens in our life, very seldomly is someone 100% blameless. Very seldomly. Chances are they're probably not blameless. No one is 100% blameless in many situations. Think about this. The ultimate measure of your wisdom and your strength is how calm you are when facing any given situation. Think about this. And I'm saying this because the movie Justice League came out recently. And so you saw like a lot of superpowers. Calmness for us is a superpower. The ability to not overreact and take things personal keeps our mind clear and your heart at peace, which instantly gives you the upper hand. And I know that it's easier said than done, but my response to that, when you come across something that's easier said than done, doesn't mean that it's impossible. Remember that. Another thing that you're going to have to let go of. So if you're keeping track, that we're up to number 4. You have to let go of the fantasy that your biggest obstacle is outside of yourself. You've heard me say this before. My biggest enemy is me. To quote Andy Mineo, my biggest enemy is me, and even I can't stop me. The biggest and most complex obstacle you will ever overcome is your mind. Everything starts in the battlefield of the mind. Now, truly, you can overcome that. If you can overcome that, you can overcome anything. And by overcoming, what I'm saying is, I'm referring to a skill of mindfulness and learning to how to effectively control your emotional response to the unexpected challenges of life. Again, easier said than done, but it's not impossible, because most of our deepest pain comes from the way that we respond, not the way life is. Let's go to number 5. And I'm halfway there. What we have to do is we have to let go of the fantasy that life shouldn't be so hard. If it was easy, everybody would do it. The hard is what makes it great. And I always think about that when stuff comes up. I always think about the movie A League of Their Own, because that's what Tom Hanks's character told Gina Davis's character when she wanted to quit playing baseball because it got hard. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But the hard is what makes it great. And that's just with life. It's so easy to overestimate the importance of one big challenge, one big circumstance, and then underestimate the value of making better decisions based on what that circumstance has taught you. Here's the truth. The truth is, let me put it like this. The truth is, you need things to be challenging. You need things to be hard. Your mind and your body needs to be exercised to gain strength. And they need to be worked consistently. Consistency matters in every area of our life. Because if you haven't pushed yourself in lots of little ways over time, if you always avoid dealing with or working through the hard things, then of course you'll crumble on the inevitable days that are harder than you expect. You're going to crumble. How many times have you seen somebody fold up like a cheap tent when pressure comes? Diamonds are formed out of pressure. You can't become a diamond if you're afraid to get cut. You can't become a diamond if you fold under pressure. So that's something to think about. Another thing is you have to let go of the fantasy that the risks are too great. Big risk, big reward. Greater risk, greater reward. Now think about this. Oftentimes, when people have their ideal opportunity sitting right in front of them, they take zero action. And for all of those that are watching that are like entrepreneurs, you know what I'm talking about. They can have a golden opportunity staring them blue in the face, but because out of fear, they won't take action. And they refuse to step up and pursue what they truly want. Because deep down, they fear pain, they fear rejection, they fear failure, etc. So guess what happens? They subconsciously and heartbreakingly trade comfort and self-preservation for lifelong misery. And I'm here to tell you, if you are guilty of that, or if you know someone that's guilty of that, look at yourself in the mirror or go to that person and tell them, don't do this to themselves. Don't do this to yourself. You deserve better than that. There are many people, like, for example, there are many people I know that are in relationships that they have no business being in. But that's a story for another day. A couple more that I'm done. Another thing that you got to do is you have to let go of the fantasy that you need permission to move forward with your life. This is a big one. This is a big one. You have to let go of the fantasy that you need somebody's permission to move forward. No one is going to give you the permission that you need. If you want to achieve greatness, stop asking for permission. Don't wait to be chosen or blessed by someone else, because the chosen and blessed ones choose and bless themselves with a heart-centered focus and consistent action. Remember, your life is your choice. And know this, choose wisely. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, but by all means, take action. What do you need to take action on? Something to think about. But you know I'm right. 3 more and then I'm done. We're up to number 8. You have to let go of the fantasy that you should feel more confident first. Don't be one of these people who they're trying to wait for the right time to get started on something, or when they feel like their confidence is at an all-time high. No, seriously, stop believing that you should feel more confident before you take the next step. Because taking the next step is what actually builds your confidence. Meditate on it for a moment, not a lifetime. Meditate on it and then force yourself forward. You don't need to have it all simply to get started. You don't need to have it all mapped out. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to get started. You need to make a decision that I'm tired of being where I'm at and I deserve better. But not only that, you got to start having daily rituals. Turn it into a ritual. Turn it into a daily habit. And do so and learn to start every day before you feel ready. And I promise you, I assure you that you will learn how to succeed step by step before you even realize it, before you even realize that you're good enough. Take the step, take the chance, because your legacy depends on it. Your life depends on it. And if you have children, your children are dependent on you. 2 more and then I'm done. Another thing that you got to let go of is let go of the fantasy that you need more and more and more of everything. No, simplify wherever and whenever possible. You got to let go of the clutter. You got to clear the clutter in your out of your mental space. Clear the clutter out of your physical space. And instead of figuring out how to make ends meet, work on having fewer ends. And by all means, don't sell your sanity to the impulse of acquiring things, acquiring more distractions that you really don't need in your life. Learn to say no. That's something that took me a long time to learn how to say no to stuff. But it's beneficial because when you simplify and live comfortably below your means, mentally and physically, you ultimately will enjoy a freedom that people busy upgrading their lifestyles and schedules can't even fathom. And then finally, the last thing that I'll say you have to let go of is let go of the fantasy that what you know now will always be true. Let go of the fantasy that what you know now will always be true. I remember Warren Buffett once said that what the human being is best at doing is interpreting all new information that their prior conclusions remain intact. And this is a tragedy. This kind of thinking. And again, don't do this to yourself. What I'm saying is, don't just look for data that confirms what you already know. Be willing to be wrong. Be willing to learn. Be mindful, be humble, be coachable, be teachable, because there's always room for a new idea. There's always room for a new step. There's always room for a new perspective. And there's always room for a new beginning. Life changes every second, and so can you. That's why you have to make every second count. And even if you believe that your life cannot change overnight, it can change when you make a decision. So most things that most people do when it comes to New Year's, they always make a toast. So toast to a new beginning, because undoubtedly in the days and the weeks and the months ahead, before and after the new year, it'll be filled with incredible highs and stressful lows for each and every last one of us. Nobody is immune. But in any case, we can train our minds to make the best of the present moment as it unfolds, and letting go of these fantasies that I've talked about is one of the simplest and most powerful starting points for doing this. So to recap, because I'm about to wrap this up, and I appreciate you all bearing with me because I've been battling a cold and you can probably hear it, but I'm not making no excuses. I'm still here and I'm still doing what I do. So to recap, for those that hopped on late, I shared about 9 or 10 things that it's time to let go of going into the new year. First off, you got to let go of the fantasy that you have. Let go of the fantasies you have about all of the distractions in your life. That was the first one. The second one was to let go of the fantasy that everyone else knows what's best for you. Third one was you have to let go of the fantasy that your anger and frustration is somebody else's fault. Point number 4 was let go of the fantasy that your biggest obstacle is outside yourself. Another one was let go of the fantasy that life shouldn't be so hard. Also, let go of the fantasy that the risks are too great. Number 7 was let go of the fantasy that you need permission to move forward with your life. Point number 8 was let go of the fantasy that you should feel more confident first. Number 9 was let go of the fantasy that you need more and more of everything. And then finally, let go of the fantasy of what you know now, will always be true. So with that being said, I want to thank each and every last one of you all who have taken time out of their schedule to hop on. And again, I appreciate you all bearing with me because my voice has not come all the way back. And this change of weather is something. But nevertheless, still here, still pressing through it. And I'm still here. And my goal is still to provide value each and every Tuesday night. And so if you have not already done so, again, feel free to pre-order my brand new book. It is entitled Love Me or Hate Me, My Journey from Motivation to Elevation. For every person that pre-orders the book, I'm going to sign your copy of the book. I'm not going to sign every copy of the book. I'm going to sign the books that are pre-ordered. And so right now I'm thankful that I've had pre-orders come in from Missouri, from Georgia, from Texas, from California, from Kansas so far. So want to add a couple more states to that list. So if you have not already done so, make sure you pre-order so that you'll get a signed copy of my book. And It won't be just my signature, because each of you means something to me. I'm going to give you a personal message in the book, in addition to me signing the book. And so you have my word on that. So thank you so much for hopping on. Again, I'll be back next Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And remember, as always, in life, you have two choices. You can make moves or you can make excuses, but you most certainly cannot do both. It's yours truly, Arian Tyson, the Moving Motivator, and I will talk to you all next Tuesday night. Peace.